Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, December 11th, 2018. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. A great rejection in yesterday's session. Price dropped significantly below 2-month lows, as we were talking about a couple of days back. We needed to take out those 2-month lows. We needed to drop into the LVN, and price did just that, dropping as low as 25.83. But by the end of the session, price had returned off those lows, had closed higher near the highs of the session, and in overnight trading now we've seen a steady continuation higher. As a matter of fact, since 2, 3, 4 in the morning, this market has been steadily higher ever since. That's a great rejection off those lows. As a matter of fact, if you take a look here at the year-to-date view, you'll notice that the market has taken out lows here, 25.83, that haven't been seen since late March and early April. The only lows left on the board are just the lows of the year here, which are just below these lows. So I mentioned that we had a great LVN opportunity here and the best opportunity there. And this was going to be the first major area to watch for signs of rejection, and we're getting that right now. Again, I'm not going to be overly excited about the potential for this move, but I do believe that this is another serviceable low that could easily get us back higher toward 2760, perhaps even a retest back toward 2800. So this could be a very, very solid push higher out of the ES still for days to come. Again, any pullback, even as deep as 26.15s, could still be a buying opportunity in the days to come. But overall, I think that this thing could be headed at least back toward the previous month's close, which sitting there at about the 27.64 level. So again, we could be headed much higher very quickly here, very similar to how we've done in the past here. Great rejections off the lows and then a quick move back up. So very nice right now the way it's playing out, but by no means can the market close below 26.15, because a close below 26.15 would suggest a violation and could lead to another round of weakness. But we could pull back into 26.15, 26.20 and still be a buying opportunity for a continuation higher. Perhaps not today, but maybe tomorrow, the next day, that could happen. But for the most part, this looks like it's headed back up. And again, if you take the recent low, which is yesterday's low at 25.83, and forecast the 10-month average higher, you're going to get 27.59.5 as the 100% target, and then you get your 75% target just below that at around 27.10. So we still have some nice upside potential here ahead. If you take a look at the NQ, this one didn't quite take out the low. 3-point reversal off the low here. Did get a nice bounce and push off those lows. A stop run day higher already. This one also seeing some incredible strength since about 3 or 4 in the morning. And again, the way we've come back and kind of continued to bounce off the 6600 level and below is very impressive. Anything below that zone has been bought here lately, and while this could lead to a nice rally here, again, we have higher lower highs here that have occurred on each of these moves. So again, I would likely just shoot for the high probability target in the near term and then let the market prove it beyond that. So from this bounce, again, we could look at a pullback as deep as 66.50, 6600 and still be a nice buying opportunity for a finish into about 71.40. So we could be looking at a nice continuation higher here over the next 1 to 5 days, maybe even the next couple of weeks. And again, it's going to take a close beyond 7,200 for this thing to really start getting going to the upside. That may come down the road, but for right now, near-term strength could take us safely back towards 7,100 to 7,150. All right, taking a look now at crude oil. You'll see here crude oil has been very bearish overall. It hasn't really dropped significantly here lately, but every pullback again into the trend here, into the PIMAs have been offered so far. Failed new high occurred right here. Midpoint retest yesterday. Another midpoint retest occurring today. We have 3 4-day lows all around the same level, which are at the previous month's close, and any violation of those lows leads to a major stop run day down. So again, if there's this dotted blue line right here is broken to the downside, this thing opens up a very swift continuation to the downside on a near-term basis. So again, we could be looking at new lows here. And based on how this thing is playing out, new lows could come right back up and try to take out these highs and come right back down. And again, we could be in a trading range that kind of holds at these lows after the major sell-off we've seen. So still looking at more downside price action ahead unless price can push back above and hold above 55s. That's the major level. So again, right now near term, watching yesterday's midpoint, watching for signs of weakness, because any signs of weakness here could lead to another round of selling pressure ahead. Let's take a look now at RTY. Now RTY has been one that has given us some signals here, early signs of weakness, early signs of strength. This one has been significant in that when it was at the highest highs, it was the first to start really selling off hard in September, and that led to again a move all the way down across the range, and it actually took out basically the lows of the year. I mean, it came right into those lows. I think the IWM did take out the lows. RTY came very close to hitting that low and then bounced back. So we've, for all intents and purposes, almost got that level, came into the LVN, and you now see that there's been a significant reversal from those lows. 1420s to 1460 right now. A great move. You can see the midpoint retest right here already in play and back up. That's a perfectly executed move right now, already playing out, and that could again continue this thing higher back toward the previous month's close. That previous month's close is sitting there at 1535.20. We could be looking at that target very, very soon. Again, based on how prices behave here lately with the lower highs, I wouldn't really shoot beyond that for right now. Price needs to reestablish acceptance back above 1610, 1620 in order for this thing to really get higher. But in the near term, we could easily see a move back toward 1535 and this target here, which is CVPOC at 1547. So that could be a very, very high probability target here in the near term, as long as price can continue to hold above 1438.5. Any close below 1438.5 suggests that we dip a little bit lower. But for all intents and purposes, we have gotten this LVN. We have taken out 2-month lows. We nearly took out the lows of the year. All of that right there usually suggests that we could bounce by some degree, likely back toward the high probability target zone that we've marked here. Lastly, let's take a look here at IYT. This is the transports ETF here. This one did take out the lows of the year. You can see down here, this is the low of the year, and price took it out here recently and rallied back to 200. Again, this was December 3rd when we had our monthly market outlook, and I mentioned that this was the best sell opportunity that I had, and it had sold off significantly. That's the best sell that we've seen since earlier in the year. Actually, this was really good as well when we had it marked as a sell. But now we have gotten a very solid impulse low after the impulse high. We have taken out the lows of the year. Yesterday was the lows of the year for the transports here. And again, if price can hold yesterday's midpoint here, yesterday's midpoint being 183.26, if we can hold that level, any pullback into that zone could be a buying opportunity for an easy push back to 186.87. That's the midpoint of that impulse move. And then we could even see a move all the way across the way to 200, 199 to 200. So this is another strong indication that we could be looking at a bounce of some magnitude. I don't want to overshoot what we could see, but again, the 186.87 target looks like a high probability target. On an average monthly range basis, we could reach somewhere between 187.5 and 191s. And then again, the upper side of resistance again is 200. So this again looks like a solid opportunity. We're seeing it from the IYT, small caps, RTY. We're also seeing in Q, ES, all looking strong to YM as well, with its rejection off the lows. but we need to be able to hold those midpoints in order for this thing to continue higher. So we're going to see how this plays out heading into the rest of the day. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room.